are you today? Hey, this is Gary, and this time I still have tequila with me. I've got two cockatoos, lovely little animals. Anyway, so I want to talk about how I broke this addiction and what the addiction was. If you're new to this channel, certainly appreciate it. We got hacked several months ago, and that kind of got rid of 3,000 videos overnight, so we have a lot of catching up to do. If you're new as well, again, please comment below. We'd love to see your comments. We do love engaging with you. And also, if you could subscribe, and if you have other people that have interest in this program, the topics that I talk about, if you don't mind sharing that with them, we would certainly appreciate that. So what was this addiction that I had to kick? And here's what the addiction is. And if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, you may have this addiction right now. I encourage you, if you do, to make sure you break it. And what is it? Working hard. Or hard work. Hard work. Now, if that applies to you, and by the way, I'm going to share with you, I think to some degree, everybody does this to some degree in their life, but I'm going to share with you 4 keys to creating wealth to help you break this pattern or this addiction. So first of all, why do we have, for some of you who have this problem, why do we have this problem of, I got to work hard? Well, there's a number of reasons for it. Let's talk about it. Number one, I think the biggest one is programming. All right? We've been programmed to work hard. You've got to put in your hard work or your day's worth of work, or maybe you saw your parents work very, very, very hard, and you've been trained to work hard, get up early, go out there and hustle and grind. And there's not necessarily wrong with this, but here's the problem. The problem with this is there's always an easier way, so we want to work smarter, right? And then the other problem with this, people who are not successful, the poorer class people, and I'm not judging or saying anything negative, if you will, but people who have a tendency or who are mentally caught or locked into the I gotta work hard, they're trading their time for dollars. In other words, the transaction is I put in time, I get dollars. I put in time, I get dollars. There's a smarter way. Rich people, they let money work for them. So one of the things that you have to do is you have to get to the point where you're having your money work for you. When your money is working for you, then you understand the concept of not having to work hard. You're letting your money work for you. So I'll go over the 4 steps of creating wealth in just a moment. And you'll see that there's an area, usually at step 2, people just totally screw up and they can't even get to creating wealth because they can't even get to step 2 because everybody's doing step 1 and not going to step 2. The other thing after being programmed is that you're conditioned, all right? It's a routine. You're conditioned to work hard. So now you've been programmed because you've been told or brought up to work hard, and now it's just part of your routine and you have a hard time breaking away from it. I remember about 4 years ago, I was on this journey, if you will, to not work so hard, but to be able to make more, work less, and enjoy my life more. And I read a book, Tuesdays with Morrie. I don't know if you've ever read that book before, but if you haven't, strongly suggest you read it. It's a great book. And what the book is about, it's about a gentleman who worked really hard, very successful, hustled and grind, spent a lot of time away from his family. But he had a professor in school, and his professor's name was Morrie. And Morrie got a disease, I think it was ACL. And every Tuesday, this gentleman would go visit Morrie. Thus the book Tuesdays with Morrie. And he would notice how Morrie every week would degrade in his health. It would just get worse and worse and worse. And it put his life into perspective that it's not all about working hard, but about the things that fulfill you. And so I started creating and adjusting my life as I started thinking about this. Then I got this book and I said, okay, let's adjust life some more where I'm living a life that's more purposeful for myself and other people. So here, let's go over the 4 things that we need to do to create wealth to not work so hard. And there's nothing wrong with hard work. I think a lot of people from a spiritual or Christian aspect, you know, they get addicted to affliction, so you feel that you have to work hard, and if things are hard for you, then you're doing what's right. Not true. Not true at all. Okay, so let's talk about these 4 things that create wealth. Number 1, everybody does this. All right? So we all get into working. When you work, what we do is we create income. So the next thing that we need to do is work equals money, right? The next thing, number 2, is we take that money. Here's where people mess up, because they don't know how to live within their means. And another problem that people have is they want instant gratification. You'll find that a majority of very successful people, and even in relationships, not just financially, one thing they have an ability to do is delay instant gratification. So if I ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how good are you at delaying instant gratification? And I can tell you, I am well above a 10. I know how to put in the time, delay the gratification to get the result. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how apt are you to delaying the gratification to getting the result? So after we work, we create money, we now need to save. We now need to save, all right? This is where people mess up. If we don't know how to put off gratification, we take our money and then we go ahead and spend it. Now, the other thing is excuses. People have so many excuses not to be able to save. Here is one of their excuses. I have no money left over. Well, that's the excuse. Of course you have no money left over, but that's not reason why. Have you ever seen these successful athletes? They get picked up by a professional team, and maybe they sign a contract with them for $2 million. And they spend $2 million and a penny. If you get $2 million and you spend $2 million and a penny, you're now living outside of your means. You're spending a penny more, but you're still spending more than what you make. So you're not saving anything. So once we save, can you hear a little tequila? She's going, Can you say that? Are you agreeing with me? Yeah? Oh, you're so precious. All right. So now we save. What do we save? What are we doing? What's the purpose of saving? The purpose of saving is to now invest. Now, we're not going to talk about what specifically to invest in. There could be a couple of things, a number of things. I remember when I was younger, I know nothing about cars, but I had a gentleman, a friend of mine, who knew everything about cars. So he said to me, Gary, how about you give me some money? We'll buy a car. We'll put in the money to fix it. And whatever we sell it for, we split it. So I put the money in. He did the work. We sold the car and we split it. So I think we bought one car once for $750. And then he put in another $300 to fix it up. We sold it for $2,000. We got $1,000 back. He kept $500. I kept $500. So out of the $1,000, I made $500. And he made $500 for his time putting it together. You could do stocks. If you've never, in fact, for people who have never bought a stock, I think you need to go get an account. You can open up stock accounts with no money, just get an account. You need to make sure you figure out ways to invest. Some people like real estate, some people like stock. The bottom line is make sure you get to the point of saving. So let me back up before we save to invest. If you're not a person who likes to save, or you're not in the habit of saving and you come up with all these excuses, I'm not knocking you, but if you're not saving, they're excuses. And the excuses look so real to you. There's no money left. There's something that you can do to massage to change that. The biggest thing about saving is getting into the habit. Let me repeat that. Getting into the habit. You must make it a behavior. You must make it a habit. So if you think you have no money to save, open up a savings account. And I don't care if you put in $1 a week, but at least do it for weeks ahead. Weeks and weeks and weeks. If you get into the programming or the conditioning to put $1 in every week, every single week for weeks, you're now going to get conditioned to create a habit to save. Sooner or later, you're going to say, $1? This is ridiculous. Let's put in $5. And maybe for you, it's $100 to start off with, and then you'll put in $500. But the bottom line is, if you're not saving, you must save, even if it's small, and more importantly, it must be consistent. So once we figure out how or what we want to invest in, we go to number 4. What is the purpose of investing? One of your sole purposes, I'll share with you too, but one of your sole purposes of investing is to create what? Create income. So now the investing is keeping you from having to work anymore because your investing is creating your income. Now you have to do some work. I mean, I don't always really believe in passive income. Passive to me is you do nothing, but technically you're going to have to do a little something, even if it's a little, but that's better than having to work, right? So now you're creating an investment to create income, and that income you can reinvest again and keep what's left over to have an income to live on. That's when you've got it figured out. And notice now, if your investments, so you could sit back, put investments. I have an investment with a friend, a partner of mine, that I literally do nothing. All right, I spend maybe 30, not even 30 minutes a month. I knew this person was stellar. He was a great person to partner with. I gave him money. He came up with the idea. I didn't really want to do it because I didn't want to work anymore. So I made the deal with him. I said, here's the deal. All right, I will invest, but I don't want to do anything. And when I say anything, I didn't want to regularly be involved. So I invested 30 minutes of my time overall to put this deal together with him. He did all the work. So I said, okay, here's the money. And now I probably put in, I don't even think I put in 30 minutes a month. All right. But I got the right person. That's the key. That doesn't happen overnight. I got the right person. And I technically have never done partnerships. I've never been a big proponent of partnerships due to my own, negative or limited thinking. And now I'm open to doing more partnerships, and I'm doing more partnerships this year because I'm able to invest, work less. Here's the key. Something of something is better than something of nothing. Let me repeat that. Write this down if you're taking notes. If you're not taking notes, write this down. Something of something is better than something of nothing. So with my investment with my partner, I get less. I don't get 100% because something of something is better than something of nothing. Something of nothing would be me doing nothing. So how about I do very little, get something of something, which is still 50%. That's not bad at all for me doing hardly any work. So if you can find ways that you can invest and just get something of something and not be greedy. I just wanted all the control. I didn't want to get screwed by people. And I've been screwed by people and I'm going to get screwed again. I mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes. But because I have more experience, I'm now a little bit more acute in looking for the right people and developing relationships so I can create partnerships to invest in to create income and have to do very little work at all. All right, make sense? So quit being addicted to hard work. Work smarter. And if you haven't watched my video on the 80-20 rule, you've got to watch that video. I've got it here on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, go to my YouTube channel. If you're not already here, go to the 80-20 rule and you will definitely see how to work a lot less, work smarter, and then if you want to even make more, work smarter, harder. All right, so that's it. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Love to see your comments below and look forward to making a lot more videos for you. Subscribe if you haven't. Between now and the next time we get to chat, you'll know what to do if you don't now. And it's don't let anything or anyone rent space in your head. Have an awesome day, and tequila say goodbye. We'll see you again.